Hello again, I am Blunty. Yesterday's video was very long, very labor intensive. I had to do a ton of research and writing about it. And the original script I recorded for like 45 minutes, eventually cut it down to about 35 minutes, but it was a lot. And very few people watched it because very few people have the attention span for that, of course, because this is YouTube. So today's video, very low effort, no planning, no scripting, and hopefully it will be quite short and still useful to those of you who, like me, are very excited about the impending release of New World, the action RPG MMO. So the site we're looking at is newworldfans.com, all one word. There it is. That's the URL for you there. And according to the site, 14 days, 4 hours, 24 minutes and 55 seconds from now, the beta will launch and then the full game at the end of next month. I've been looking at this site pretty much all day, and I've also been watching the associated YouTube channel for most of the day as well. They're making some pretty good content about this game and detailing the game and doing some sort of introductory stuff, some guides and things like that. But the website has been particularly useful for me today because I'm thinking about what kind of build I want to do. It's also going to be very useful for you to bookmark for when you play because it has, let me just tab across to it here. It has an interactive map. So you'll see in the in-game chat when you first start up the game, there'll be a lot of people asking about where to find certain resources to upgrade their crafting skill or complete quests or whatnot. So an interactive map like this will help you very much indeed, so you can select exactly what you're looking for. It'll show you on the map where to get it. So hey, look, there's some carrots right there. But what I've been doing today is fiddling with the build system, which is actually a really well implemented build simulator thing. I don't know what they're called. A lot of RPG games have a site like this, some better than others. This one is particularly well put together. So we've already got a bunch of builds from various sort of community members sort of playing with their stuff. You can save your own builds. You can make them public or private. So if you don't want to feel embarrassed about your lack of knowledge, you can just fiddle in private and save it and come back later and fiddle with it some more. Or you can search for builds specifically. So you can search for whatever weapon you're interested in. Say you're looking for a hatchet build. You want sort of one that's had the most likes, and you want one that's going to be good for expeditions. You can filter that and it'll give you the builds that have been specifically crafted for that. Or you can do what I've been doing most of the day and go to create a build and start fiddling around with the various trees of your weapons. So you've got your various attributes here, and if you hover over the question mark, it'll tell you what weapons scale with that. So in the case of strength, it's Warhammer, Great Axe, Sword and Hatchet, secondary for the spear, dexterity secondary for sword and hatchet, and bow, rapier, and spear and musket for primary, and on and on it goes. So you plan out how you want to distribute your points depending on what weapons and what setup you're going to go for and what sort of build you're looking to try. And then you come down here, you go 2 weapons. Used to be 3. Back when I last played it, they've stripped it back. You can only carry 2 weapons at a time active at the moment. So you pick your weapon. So let's say hatchet. And here's the useful thing for the newbies out there who don't know what they want to do. It has the full skill trees. So there's 2 skill trees per weapon, depending on, again, what kind of build you want to go through. And you've got 19 mastery points to spend, so you can then sort of hover over these and read the description of these various skill trees and skill points and things like that, and figure out a little bit more closely what you want to lean into, whether you want to go DPS, whether you want to go defensive, whether you want to go healer or support, or all that kind of stuff that you need to be thinking about. You can come here and just take your time and go through each weapon and each skill tree step by step and see what the various perks and abilities and special abilities and all that kind of stuff is. And then you can save it and come back to it later. You can do the same for your second weapon as well. So hatchet and rapier. Don't think that's a particularly useful combination. They kind of overlap fairly heavily, but for the purposes of this, this is what I've been fiddling with. So I've got dexterity pretty much maxed out to my 195 available sort of max points, and I've got my sort of hatchet sort of planned out for DPS, basically. This is my sort of mad DPS go with a bit of throwable hatchets just for pulling mobs from across the field as well. So we can just pull some aggro by throwing hatchets at them. Very fun to do, by the way, or at least it was the last time I got to play in the public test last year. And the second weapon I've got sorted out here is a musket. The musket and hatchet combination is something you might have seen me in my gameplay I put in yesterday's video. There's a lot of it in that. Because, of course, the hatchet, very sort of up close and melee, and, in with the gritty stuff, and then of course the musket at the other end of that. I can just set up somewhere on a hillside and just go ping, ping, ping. And the musketry also has some very interesting trapper effects as well to slow down mobs, and you can that can actually be kitted out to give you a little bit of a heal too, which I haven't done for this particular build because I've done something different here. But this is the point I'm talking about. You can play with this stuff. You can experiment. You can find different ways to lay out this kind of stuff. So if you are interested in New World, I do heavily suggest you bookmark this site, have a bit of a play, and also check out the Studio Loot YouTube channel as well while you're at it. Because, again, they're making some pretty good content about this, sort of short-form videos and longer podcasts where they have a back and forth and a chat about things as well. And I've been enjoying what they've been doing, so that's my recommendation. Anyway, thanks for watching. I am Blunty, and we'll catch you next time. Hopefully this has been useful to you, because it has been to me, and quite frankly, I couldn't be bothered making a real video today, so you get this.